Welcome to POV, The People, the show where we break down the most unexpected and viral discussions. Today, we'll dive into a shocking voting mystery, a surprising breakthrough, and a strange internet trend that has everyone talking. Stay tuned, hit like, and subscribe for more crazy debates. Let's get started!
Why do you think Marco Rubio got 99 votes for Secretary of State, but every other secretary barely met the threshold of more than 51 votes in the Senate?
He's worked in the Senate for years, and he was probably friendly with nearly every senator. So it makes sense that they would be more likely to vote him in.
Yeah, I only disagree with him on everything, rather than view him as widely unqualified.
The funny thing is I said essentially the same thing. I don't agree with him at all, but when compared to pretty much every other person nominated for every other position, he at least seems qualified and not a complete monster.
He's by far the most normal pick of the litter. Typical vanilla Republican, plus he's already a senator, so all the Dem senators voting in his favor have a better sense of who and how he is.
He's basically the only one qualified for the position he is taking in this cabinet. As much as I don't like his politics, he is the only sane pick from Trump.
And the CKF state is going to have a hell of a lot of fires to put out the next few years. If you're only going to have one adult in the room, it's not a bad spot to put him.
Because by comparison, he was qualified.
He was qualified in an absolute sense for the job. Agree or not with his politics, he has experience at high levels with foreign policy. I'd have also voted to confirm him.
He gets real thirsty at times, though.
I love that clip will follow him for life.
Because he's a simp, but he's not batshit insane.
Genuinely the most qualified out of the lot.
Yeah, out of all the bad options out there, he's definitely the least bad.
He's actually qualified, regardless of how one feels about his politics or past actions. Trump made it very clear that he was willing to nominate grossly unqualified cabinet secretaries. Dems in the Senate understand the importance of soft power and saw what Trump did to it last time around. He was the best option they were going to get. Plus, he's a senator, and generally speaking, senators are adults and typically play nice or go full cronyism, depending on one's POV, with members of their club.
Rubio does actually have more than two brain cells. He is portrayed as a deeply unpleasant person by the press, but who knows IRL. The Republican Party is going to need a leader after Trump passes away. He has a chance to be that. It might be a dying party at that point, depending on the economy.
Tammy Duckworth basically said he was nice and accepting in real life and stuck up for her when she was a new senator and needed to bring her daughter to work.
Taking a break from American politics, what's happening in the rest of the world?
Greece is bracing for a potential big earthquake. Over the last few weeks, there's been a gigantic swarm of small earthquakes in the stretch of sea northeast of the island of Santorini, a popular tourist spot. Santorini and a couple other islands have been fully evacuated already. The region is expecting either a large earthquake anytime now or an undersea volcano named Columbo to erupt. One of the two or both.
This sounds like something that needs way more news coverage. Thank you for sharing it.
In Chile, we're trying to make the biggest hot dog on earth.
A Chile dog, you say?
God damn it.
A kayaker was swallowed by a whale and spat out while his dad filmed it in Chile.
Oh yeah, my partner told me about that and I was confused because though that happened a while back, apparently it was a different one.
Mass protests in Serbia against the corrupted government. It all started when the roof of the newly reconstructed railway station collapsed and killed 15 people. The government still refuses to provide the documents about the reconstruction.
I've seen that go around in the news and I saw some pictures. Very impressive protesting. I hope you good people of Serbia continue and receive justice.
Brazil has added a lot of high-cost medications and items to our Farmacia Popular Subsidy Program. So now diabetes medications such as dapagliflozin and adult diapers are free for everyone eligible, people over 60 in both those cases. DAPA was already at an 80% discount before if you did the paperwork, but now you just need your prescription and SUS card. Mini menstrual items, osteoporosis medication, and contraceptives also entered the program, totaling 41 items available to the public, not counting medication already provided by our health system.
Oh man, you love to see it. Thank you for some good news.
Go Brazil.
There's an armed rebellion taking over eastern Congo.
Hundreds of thousands displaced and thousands dying. Almost certainly has backing from neighboring Rwanda, who claim DRC harbors some of the instigators of the massacre.
I've heard a large portion of the insurgents are literally Rwandan soldiers. So backing may be an understatement. I believe Rwanda is effectively at war with the DRC, but using excuses to cover for it. But unilaterally saying they are the villains in this oversimplifies a complex conflict with no heroes.
The Pope has been hospitalized after meeting the Prime Minister of my country. For context, the Prime Minister is responsible for murder of an investigative journalist, and his fiancée has proven ties to mafia. He's hateful to multiple minority groups and just a vile person all around.
We live in a sad state of affairs when I can't guess which Prime Minister it is.
My top 3 topics. Number 1, snow, lots of it. Number 2, my coworker's disabled 27-year-old daughter died yesterday. Obviously very sad, but on the other hand, her doctors only expected her to live until she was 12. Number 2, my dad's friend died a couple of weeks back in Florida. They cremated him and shipped his remains back to Canada via post. Post has lost the package.
Wow, not expecting that last sentence. I love this comment the most because it makes me feel like I'm hearing the hot goss from a nice lady over tea. I'm sorry for the various losses.
Here in Italy, it is the week of the Sanremo's festival. It is the main stage for Italian artists. It is considered a show for old people generally, but in the last few years, the younger generation are enjoying it while doing Fantasanremo, like fantasy football, but with the artists of Sanremo. And the main focus of everybody is the gossip about Chiara Fragni and Fedez, 2 influencers that were married and the guy cheated. So now it is like a national problem or some shit like that. Meanwhile, our government is doing everything it can to be closer to fascism, but nobody cares.
Winter, return to Sweden. I hate it.
Keep warm and use it as an excuse to stay inside and catch up on some good books and movies. I want to visit Sweden sometime. I hope I get to.
We had a water main break and leak thousands of liters of water onto a major highway, and it's 17 degrees Celsius. That was fun.
While here in Australia, we're gearing up for a general election, the opposition leader is a Trump/Musk sycophant and has been regurgitating Trump administration talking points for some time now. So we're pushing back on that. Meanwhile, the orange one is stirring the pot to see if he can squeeze any money out of Australia. And our current government is looking into ways to tell him to fuck off without saying it to his face. Other than that, we're good.
Y'all should say it to his face. I would if I had the choice.
We're all just looking on in horror as we watch the downfall of the USA. It reminds me of when I watched the tsunami in Japan or 9/11 planes fly into towers. Except this doesn't seem to have an end. It just keeps getting worse every day.
That's what it feels like on the inside, too.
What's the best thing happening in the world right now, in your opinion?
In the Czech Republic, beavers built a dam exactly where authorities wanted to build one anyway. 1.2 million euros saved.
Beavers are awesome. Kurwa Baber. Not Czech, but close enough.
As a Canadian, they are a truly noble animal.
Engineer signed off, right?
I read the news report. The engineers confirmed it was actually done with a better, more efficient technique compared to the human design.
Decades of cancer research finally paying off with massive breakthroughs. Personalized vaccines, cell therapy, gene editing, and microbiome treatments are progressing to mainstream deployment before our eyes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure outside a few specific types, like pancreatic cancer, survival rates are through the roof since the 90s. It's no longer the grim death sentence it used to be.
The absurdity of cancer is that each specific type is unique, so that research and treatment needs to be tailored to the particular variant of cancer. I think that is a nuance that is lost in the conversation revolving around it. I'm very, very pleased and optimistic for once regarding the mRNA vaccine trials for kidney cancer. Absolutely astonishing what pathways are available moving forward with this technology.
tiger populations in the wild has gone up the last few years for the first time in over a century.
Nepal and India have really stepped up in tiger conservation. India has tiger safaris now.
Bhutan has become a proud tiger conservation country too. Tigers live surprisingly high up in the Himalayas there.
Tigers in Bhutan are known as higers.
Puppies learning to swim in tiny life jackets.
Many nights at around 12 a.m., I'll be up feeding my 2-month-old son, and my 4-year-old daughter will saunter in and climb up into the nursing chair and snuggle me. In that moment, I feel like the richest man in the world.
In that moment, you just might be.
This is really sweet. We're about to have our second, and one of my biggest concerns is losing time with my sweet 3-year-old. This gives me hope. Looking forward to the double snuggles.
There will be some challenges, but it's going to be great. We have some Sour Patch moments, but I've found explaining things honestly has worked out well. My daughter is a daddy's girl, which I cherish. I remind myself that while her brother is a baby, he will not remember me taking an extra minute to get to him, but she will remember every time I leave her for him. So I tend to ask if she'll help me with him. Changes the attitude from daddy is leaving to I'm helping my little brother and daddy trusts me.
That's it for today on POV the People. We've covered game-changing discoveries and the latest internet buzz. Now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, and don't forget to subscribe for more wild discussions. See you in the next one.